My dad was an abusive alcoholic. It was never a fun thing. It was always, he would drink, come home, and the whole family, usually mostly it was just mom, but later on it became the whole family that would get knocked around and verbally abused. And so yeah, I did start from trauma at a really early age. I'm an alcoholic. I drank from sneaking into it from a really early age. But I think I knew that I really, really liked it when I was about 12. I just wanted more and became curious about other drugs and smoking weed, mushrooms, anything that a 12-year-old could access at the time. Later on, just through meeting new people, found heavier drugs and just continued to experiment, but alcohol was always my deal. I saw my friends' families and how they operated, and that, I never brought people home overnight for the weekend because, shit hit the fan just about every, at least once a month. My whole family, we just dealt with it. We thought it was normal, but we were taught not to talk about it. I was married at 17, then found out I was pregnant, then had him at 18. And when I was pregnant, I thought, what am I gonna do? Because I knew what my lifestyle was like, and it didn't include being a parent, and I had ideas what a parent should be. So I quit drinking. It was really hard. That was when I got introduced to AA. We moved over here when he was 5. Had my daughter at that time, so I had 2 babies, sober. Church was my big deal, and my kids. I didn't start drinking until right around 9/11. Was kind of when the trauma or the anxiety, not really trauma, just anxiety from everyday life started hitting me, and I couldn't figure out what was wrong with me, why I was having panic attacks and things like that. And so going to the doctor, they tried different medications and different things and weird diagnoses, and nothing seemed to help. And so for some reason, I decided to try drinking again. Once I started drinking, it was probably about 4 or 5 years after that I couldn't control it. I finally asked for help. I called my husband at work and said, I can't do this anymore. This is, my body, I'm sick. I asked him to help me find treatment. And so I got into treatment in Chelan, and that was when I started trying to recover. I just could not find the solution to coping with my stress, and went to treatment 9 times. And eventually, when I moved back over to the coast, I went to treatment 3 times in 2017. And at the second treatment program, the doctor there, my blood pressure was extremely high, and they said, you gotta go. We can't, something's wrong and we can't help you. I was like, you can't do that to me. If I go home, I'm gonna drink, So he, by some miracle, he and the chief doctor at the hospital thought that maybe I had a tumor called pheochromocytoma, and sure enough, I did. It's an extremely rare cancer, and they did an X-ray, found it, and I was in the cardiac unit in Kirkland within the hour. I found through researching that tumor is on your adrenal gland, releases massive amounts of adrenaline into your system, causing anxiety attacks. Just imagine what adrenaline rushes, and that's what I lived with every day, all the time. So anything could cause a reaction, but it wasn't just that. I could just be doing something regular and I'd have a reaction. And so I really think that the health issues were a common denominator in all of the relapse. And because I was really educated about addiction, and my dad died from alcoholism, and finding the solution with the tumor was just that was a miracle. There's no shame. There's the disease, and there's so many different ways that we can recover. Being a late stage alcoholic, I know what it looks like to be so close to death. It causes a lot of stigma, drug use and addiction. And I think it's important for us to start talking about it and being open about it in church, in our communities, in school. I have a clear mind. I have a clear faith in God, and then I have my relationship with my kids. Those important things in my life keep me from having the I don't care attitude, the attitude that I don't care what happens to me because I'm only responsible for me. That's just not the case. People care about you, and people, my children need me. There's a gift of desperation that we talk about in the program, and that means that we become so desperate and so hopeless that the only thing we can do is reach out for help. And whatever help we can get, and I believe that God leads us in that direction. I would want people to know that there's hope. You're not alone. Everybody is worthy of help and health, and that's why we want to get people into this movement of recovery, of coaching, of helping, of not judging. There is no shame in having your brain be addicted to a substance. It happens. And we recover.